Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I am your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs, and I'm also a legal document assistant based in the greater Los Angeles area. Today's topic on Start Your Divorce Thursdays is how do I respond to a divorce petition, or should I respond to a divorce petition? So there's an important point I need you to understand. There's a legal obligation. This document can impact how you proceed legally and how you navigate this divorce, and it also could potentially protect your rights as you walk through this divorce. But the reason this is double titled is because just yesterday I was in a mediation session, and well, it wasn't a mediation. It was like a pre-mediation. They just started. So I was making sure they knew the divorce process, what was going to happen, who is going to be the petitioner, what are some things to think about, when will we actually mediate, those types of things. And the husband said, Claudia, should I file a response? I legally can't answer that question. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. So to tell you yes or no is to give you legal advice. I mean, like somebody on the street, yeah, you probably should. Like if you're concerned about that. So let's lay out the things to think about so that you can make your best decision for your situation. Many times when people mediate, they are proceeding with a divorce and they're going to go with a default with an agreement. Default with an agreement. It's considered a default because the respondent didn't show. But it's a written agreement, so they are signing off on these agreements. This is not, I'm putting your hand behind your back and you got to sign. No, we're working on these agreements. The couple's like, we're amicable for the most part. Why should we both pay a filing fee when we know we're going to solve this through mediation and we're never going to go to court because that's what we're committed to? We're not doing that. Cool. If you do decide to file a response and still stay in mediation, cool too. Your divorce is not considered a default with an agreement. It's considered uncontested. The result is the same. You will have a written agreement and you will not have to step foot in court. However, if you know this is going to get ugly, or you're concerned that there might be one or two points that you guys cannot agree upon, and you might have to go in front of the judge, if you don't file a response, the judge can't talk to you. They will be like, what are you doing here? You don't have standing to be in my court. File a response. They will tell you to file a response. Sometimes people have very, very detailed initial filings where they fill out the FL-160 and they're listing everything that they want to make sure the court receives to document that this is all the community property and this is how it should be divided and this is all the separate property. And they want the court to enter a default. The problem is, it kind of says like you have 30 days in order to respond, and then there's like this scare tactic. Everybody says, oh, you got to file a response. Otherwise, if you don't file a response, you're going to get everything you want. Now, if you're the petitioner, you're like, I hope they don't file a response. I'm going to get everything I want. It's not that simple. It is not that simple. Especially if you're in LA. Your spouse has to participate. They have to complete their financial disclosures. And it is far faster for you to have them participate than to try to proceed without them participating at all. It's going to take a lot longer. Okay, so it's not that simple. For the most part, people don't necessarily have to file a response because they know that they're working towards an agreement. But if you think your spouse is going to try to enter a default so that they can get what they want, you filing a response prevents them from doing that. They cannot enter a default. The judge cannot rule on that case and just go, okay, they didn't show, no big deal. No. So filing a response protects you legally. You do have 30 days to file. It's 30 days from when you're served. And then technically, a default can be entered. Technically. This is where, like when I work with people, it's like, okay, let's file this petition. Are you going to file a response or not? Okay. Let's work on your financial disclosures. Let's mediate. Man, okay, well, shoot. Let's get these final agreements. Has it been 30 days yet? No. Let's enter this default and your final paperwork that you guys have signed and notarized. Do you see the difference there? You guys have been working on here on these documents. You have an agreement. 30 days is up. You filed a default. This isn't something secret. If you think you're going to move really fast, then filing a response gets rid of that 30-day requirement. If you're like, I'm going to file a petition, they're going to get served, they're going to turn around and file a response. We already have our agreement worked out. You can expedite the process that way by somebody filling out a response, and then you are entering this stuff into the court and they are processing your divorce. Your 6-month clock still counts, but you're done with the paperwork. And then you're just waiting for the clock to go, okay, you're officially divorced. Just don't twist my words. You can't get divorced automatically in 6 months if you haven't done the work. That only happens if you've done the work and you've got the final paperwork from the court that says, hey, great, your judgment's been entered this date, you're returned to single status as of this date. That's when it's just like, I'm waiting to get divorced. That's the difference. The other thing, especially if a client is not represented by an attorney, even if the 30 days have passed, as long as a default hasn't been entered, most judges are going to let you file a response late. So if you walk down this path and you realize, oh, poop, we are not going to be able to settle this out of court, we're going to have to go to court, you're most likely going to be able to mediate. I actually had a client through another company, and the judge was like, why are you here? Like, her divorce has been going on for like a year. Why are you here? You don't have standing. And so he was like, you need to go file a response. I'll let you file a response. He wasn't going to prevent her. She didn't ultimately do it, and they did resolve their differences and reach an agreement. But even well past the 30-day deadline, the judge was going to let her file a response so that she could have standing. So, because otherwise things can get thrown out if you try to show up and be like, boop, sorry, too late. Usually it doesn't happen that way. It's not magical, right? Because if divorce was magical, it wouldn't take so freaking long. Okay. Sorry. So, even if you file a response, it's not like I'll see you in court. Oh my gosh, please don't say that to people. I'll see you in court. Yeah, like in like 8 months when you can finally get on the court calendar. Don't say that. This is just a way to protect your interest. A response is a way to protect your interest. And if you're the petitioner and your husband decides, or your wife decides, or whoever decides to file a response, don't view it as a shot across the bow. They're just protecting their legal interest. It's okay. You can still work together. Don't get offended by it. So just expect that they might do that. Okay? It doesn't mean that they're trying to take you to the cleaners. They're protecting their legal interest. It's smart. If you were in their shoes, you probably would do the same thing. Keep the conversations going. The process is going to be the same. You're both going to have to complete your financial disclosures. You're both going to have to negotiate and reach a settlement. And then you're going to have to fill out that final set of paperwork, sign it, notarize it, and get it sent to the court. The process is the same. This is about protecting your legal right. So don't neglect it. If you feel like you need to file a response, file a response. You're not going to hurt yourself by filing a response. There is a potential to hurt yourself if you don't file a response. The choice is yours. Have a great day.